So I want to do a Star Wars update video real quickly on the latest information we know about the villains of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, in regards to Kylo Ren, the First Order, and Supreme Leader Plagueis. Snoke. So, happy Force Friday, and I wanted to go over a few things that I ran across. So first, let's start with Kylo Ren, what we know as far as what's been told to us. So apparently, they're going to go with the whole Sith wannabe dark side fanboy bridge club approach, in the sense that Kylo Ren is not his real name, which we all kind of knew, and he is a member of the so-called Knights of Ren. And Ren is apparently a title similar to the Darth title. So we know Kylo is not his real name, and Ren is essentially Kylo of the Knights of Ren. And we'll see if that holds true as far as my theory that he is the other Solo child, and I know a lot of other people believe that as well. And perhaps even Luke's child, the equivalent of Ben Skywalker, although I think there's little chance of that because you'd have to get into the whole Mary Jade story or whatever they would rename her. And from what I understand, this is mainly going to focus on Han and Leia and their kids versus the whole Luke thing. So I think Luke will be more prominent in Episode 8 and 9. But we'll kind of get an idea of what's going on with him. But as far as Kylo Ren goes, it looks like he's in this little Sith cult club, really infatuated with Darth Vader. And it could be just because, it's been about 30 years since people have really seen Force users and that type of thing. But I believe it's more than likely because it's probably his grandfather. It looks like he is some Sith artifact collector being kind of obsessed with Vader because his mask is designed after Darth Vader, although the front looks like Revan. But when you do take off the hood and see it from different angles, it does remind you of the Vader mask, and perhaps even has parts of the original Vader mask, since we've seen the concept art of a figure holding the Vader mask after it was burnt in Return of the Jedi. But it looks like he's going to be on a mission to get a certain weapon that was lost in Empire Strikes Back, I believe. Now, as far as the whole Sith versus just Dark Jedi thing, J.J. Abrams did say in an interview that Kylo Ren is not a Sith, but he is working under this Supreme Leader Snoke character. He said Ren's not a Sith, but he did not say that Snoke is not a Sith. He essentially said that he's a powerful user of the dark side. So to me, that implies that this guy's been around a while, been through some things, and as a matter of fact, Andy Serkis, the actor who's playing Snoke, actually said in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, I believe, that essentially he had to be careful what he said about the character, but that the character had been through some things. To me, that also kind of points to the fact that this guy's been around a while, and I think Plagueis, again, sticking to my original theory in previous videos, that this guy is in fact Plagueis, because I think it would just tie it together and bring a little bit of the expanded universe in as well. So, and of course we know that he's Force sensitive because he's the one with the voiceover.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
That is his voice, and he feels the awakening, so to speak, in the dark and the light side, and that points to a guy as powerful as Plagueis as well. That goes into a theory as well that Anakin is actually the creation of Darth Plagueis, since he was able to manipulate he was able to manipulate the Force and create life. We have seen some concept art that looks to be a Darth Plagueis type figure. Andy Serkis is using motion capture with the photos released on StarWars.com, and obviously he's not playing a human, more than likely a humanoid, and that could be a Mun, and we all know that Darth Plagueis was a Mun. So I still think that Plagueis will be in the film, and of course they are members of this so-called First Order. It seems to be the remnants of the Empire, but that also may imply with the name that there may be other factions out there fighting for control and fighting for power as well. It could be something to where, Force users or what have you, or Jedi and Sith and that type of thing almost become a thing of legend. But another angle I want to throw in here real quickly is the Inquisitor angle. We see that with Star Wars Rebels, which is canon, that Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine used Inquisitors. And Inquisitors are essentially Sith assassins. They're not real true Sith lords, although they do train in the arts of the Sith. They were not meant, as far as the Rule 2 went, although that may be out the window now, to really take over and lead as being a Sith master. But of course, they can all have their own lust for power. And now that we're seeing in Star Wars Rebels that Inquisitors were used in the Jedi Purge by Darth Vader and Sidious, perhaps this Snoke character is one of those old Inquisitors that's just gained a lot of power over the years. How would he do that? Well, holocron technology. Now, there is a rumor that perhaps Luke is off on some planet somewhere, perhaps, Korriban or Tython or some planet in Star Wars history, and guarding an ancient Sith tomb because of its potential power. Now that's of course a rumor, it's just speculation, but that could bring in some old Republic type character like Exar Kun. That could imply that holocron technology would be used. So an Inquisitor could perhaps get his hands on some old Sith holocrons and learn from an actual Sith Master to tie this in if it's not an actual Sith Lord himself. Basically, holocrons work by the creator uses his own essence and force to create the holocron and creates a matrix, and it contains kind of his essence, his or her essence, so when somebody, a force user, uses it, opens it, they can actually communicate with that. So it's almost like a portable teacher, so to speak. One thing I would like to add with Force Friday, all the toys were released, and this made me want to do this video actually because I didn't personally go out shopping for toys. I did have friends texting me pictures of the Star Wars toys on the shelves, and of course I went and looked online, and I noticed, of course, and I fully expected, that I would not see any Snoke toys. And there's a reason for that, because they don't want to give away who he is, and that to me points again that he is in fact somebody that we may know. If they put a Snoke character out on the shelves, then you're going to see his race, and if you see a Mun in a package, we're going to kind of know as Star Wars nerds, hey, this is Darth Plagueis, I don't care what his damn name is. J.J. Abrams has said no when people asked about Plagueis, but he also said that Khan wouldn't be in Star Trek, so you can't really believe that because they're not going to tell you in the first place. Villains have always been cooler than the Rebels, or now the Resistance as it's called. So they're using him, and they can leak a little bit about his story out and kind of get us interested and get us kind of seasoned at the mouth, but they're not going to release his master or who he's working for as far as his identity, because I think it's a pretty big deal. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys cool with it going with the Inquisitor path, where they could be just simply Sith Inquisitors, or just dark side users who've come to power and there's just not many left? Were the Sith completely destroyed and wiped out at the end of Jedi as we're supposed to believe? Or are they going to bring us some expanded universe stuff and say that Plagueis lives? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Got a lot of stuff coming. I've been kind of behind because I was traveling, so I apologize for that, but I got some more Star Wars stuff coming, and definitely some more Game of Thrones as well. In the meantime, you can click here for the last video I did on the Gravedigger theory, where I talk about the Hound and how he potentially survived. He may come back and fight his brother the Mountain in what we call Clegane Bowl. And also you can click here for the last Game of Thrones Q&A I did as well. And keep those questions and comments coming for Q&As for Star Wars and Game of Thrones. And feel free to leave me suggestions for videos in the future on either topic or other shows as well. But let me know what you guys think. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. Thanks for watching, you guys. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you next time.